Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you are listening to this. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing the mom chat just a little bit differently. One, I want it to be more real. And two, I want to just see how this feels, okay? So instead of me talking and you seeing me, I want it to be a little bit more conversational and, relatable. And I script it, and I've scripted today's chat, but I want to also be chit-chatting and I don't want to be focusing on how I look and cutting it and just making it super YouTubey. So from now on, unless I like the other thing better, I'm just going to do it like this. And so that means, one, you're getting way better quality well, I guess not because I'm still using my microphone, but you can multitask. So you can sit and listen to me in single task, or you could throw in a little laundry, throw in a load of dishes, listen to this while you're driving, and we are going to vibe. So today, we are going to be diving into something that so many unschooling moms have either asked me about, or I've heard them talking about this, or are quietly worried about this because I've been there. And that is, during unschooling, if I choose to unschool, will my child really learn to read on their own? And how does that all work? So the short answer to this is yes. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've heard, so one, you're going to see in a second that I've witnessed it in my own home, but I've also heard so many stories, both online and in real life, of moms talking about this exact topic and witnessing it for themselves. So yes, absolutely, but the longer answer is even more beautiful. So that's what we're gonna dig into today. So let me give you a real life example from our home, because that is the only thing I can speak on, because that is the only thing that I am going through, and that's the only thing that I know is real. You can do all sorts of research. I talk about this all the time, but the only research that you can truly do is what you can research on your own body and in your own life and in your own home. So back to the story. This time last year, Addison, who is now 9, wasn't what most people would call a strong reader. Okay. And you know what? That's because reading just literally wasn't relevant to her at all. Her days were filled instead with play, imagination, creating worlds, role playing, making art, and asking so many amazing questions. She was learning all day long, just not through reading books yet. So fast forward to this year, she's reading nonstop. She caught on so quickly and effortlessly and naturally, and it's because now reading is relevant to her. It's extremely relevant to her. Unless you're living in a tribe in the middle of the woods and you don't see any words, and you don't need words, and you're just hunting and gathering and living off the fat of the land, you still will probably somehow, for whatever reason, see words here and there, or old literature that they're bringing into the tribe, but it doesn't matter. That's not our life. If you're living in today's society, odds are you're going to be just consuming words all the time. And so if you want to be a part of that, when you get 8, 9, 10, kids are like, oh, this is what the adults are doing. Looks interesting, and I'm curious. So I'm going to start paying attention to that. So there's this really cool concept in educational psychology that also backs this up. It's rooted in self-directed learning and the idea that when children are internally motivated, when they choose the why and the when of learning things, they absorb and retain the information faster and with more meaning. So researchers like Peter Gray, who study unschooling and natural learning, have found that when reading becomes useful to the child, okay, not you, to the child, when it's tied to their own goals, their interests, and real life needs, they often go from not reading to fluent very, very quickly. It's like a switch flips. And it's not magic, it's just biology, patience, and trust. So what does this actually look like in real life, in a real family, in a real unschooling situation? So I'm going to give you some examples, okay? So I'm going to show you just some of the ways, just a couple of ways that Addie reads naturally. My 9-year-old reads naturally on a daily basis without ever being formally taught. So she'll read texts over my shoulders, text over my shoulder. She will casually Google things when she's curious about anything, literally anything. She'll hop on my phone or her iPad or my iPad. It is always available. And although we don't do that much screen time in our house, she always has a tool to be able to research something when she is curious about it. So she gets on Google's things and she's reading, she's reading research to figure out the answer to her question. Okay, so writing and reading little notes back and forth to each other just for fun. She reads road signs and billboards on the way to the store, or whatever errand we have going on. While at the store, she scans the store shelves and marketing signs. She reads words in her video games. She can navigate literally, any digital device. You have to do accept or reject or confirm this, like you have to be reading basically the whole time. She's learning ASL, so you have to read the word to know what you're learning to sign. She reads for fun, and her book of choice right now are comics, these big Japanese comic books. She also reads to her baby sisters, and she texts and messages friends and family. So these are just a small handful. Like, that's not even an exhaustive list, right? So let me remind you, because I know someone needs to hear this out there. At 8 years old, so this was last year, Addie could only slightly read. And then at 7, 2 years ago, she could barely read. And I got in my head about it a little bit, and I was like, oh my gosh, everybody else her age can basically read. But that's because she didn't need it yet. Reading just wasn't relevant in her world. And she wasn't feeling the pressure of standardized timelines or artificial benchmarks. Now she's not just a strong reader. She reads big, impressive words to us and in front of us, and just naturally, casually, like on a Sunday afternoon or like after dinner for fun, she's like reading. And it's because she loves it, because it's hers. So to wrap this up, I just want to leave you with these words, which are like, trust your child. Seriously, trust your child. Trust that their natural wisdom and curiosity will happen. Trust that they are capable learners, because they are, even when they don't look like it yet. And know that reading, just like walking or talking or crawling or learning to ride a bike, will come when they are ready, not you. You don't have to force it. You don't need to rush it. You don't need to compare them to anyone else or their timeline. But what they do need is a world full of, words and language. So you can't just live in a box or never see people or never go out and about, never have books in the house, never be, as the adult interested in reading, because then they're just going to be like, okay, well, I guess, adults don't have to read. So you have to make it apparent that this is just what happens, and it's fun and it's exciting. Like, I love to read, and my kids see me read all the time. Okay, they need a safe space to explore without feeling pressured. So, that's patience and just kind of going for the ride of their wonder. And finally, they need a parent who believes in their process. So speak to your child like the wise, intuitive learner that they are. We need to let go of the belief that they need to read before they are ready. I had to let go of that belief. And these mom chats, like I always say, these mom chats are, for me, in my research that I'm curious about, that I know for a fact will help someone else, because I have been there. And once you do all that, you just get to watch what happens, and watch what happens when they fall in love with learning on their terms, not yours, not the school's, no one else's pressure. The occasional grandparent, comment, but we just smile and laugh. So if you found this video helpful at all, or if you're walking a similar path, I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. I really would. I want this to be a little bit more community based, and I want to chit chat with other people in similar lives or just curious, or if you want to comment about the next mom chat. I love doing this kind of like research and connecting in this way. So if you want me to cover a specific topic in next week's mom chat, let me know. I would love that. So let's just normalize different learning timelines also, especially in unschooling. That's what it is. It's just living. So make sure, if you want to support me, I would absolutely appreciate you so much. If you like this, share it with someone who could possibly resonate with this, or it could help them out, or a grandparent who needs to hear this, to trust the process, and subscribe if this resonated for next week's mom chat or daily vlogs of us living our unschooling life. And I will see you next week. Bye. And really quick, guys, I am starting something new where I will also be uploading a blog of the exact same content that I'm going to be podcasting or vlogging or whatever you want to call it with this mom chat. So if you prefer reading, or if you are going to be sitting somewhere that requires silence, like a library or next to a sleeping baby who's nursing, or a cafe or something like that, I will start linking the blog version of this in the video for the mom chat. Also, if you do want to support me, I will be so happy if you just go on there just to drive traffic. That would help me out a lot. All you have to do is click on the link, swipe a little bit, and then carry on with your day. If you feel the need to support me, that would be amazing. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I know some people, sometimes myself, I just like to read rather than listen, no pun intended, since this is a podcast all about reading. So that is the update. So feel free to check out that link. The blog will be there, and it's pretty cute. I'm new to blogging, but hey, gotta start somewhere.